Hey guys, it's Ilya Red here, and I have prepared some nice T100 LT action for you. It's not a review, it's not really a guide or something, it's more of a demonstration of what this tank is capable of, and some other thoughts of mine that I want to share with you. T100 LT is a really fun tank, you know, the ELC type. You can yell around very quickly, and you are never tired of it. Every battle is full of speed, action, lots of flanking, relocating, lots of scout. Yeah, lots of shots. It's so interesting to play it, and you don't even care too much if you're in a city map. You can run around those squares and corridors and still deal quite some damage. I can be talking about this tank forever. Yeah, I think you already know that. So, the first thing I want to talk about is Tier 10 Light against Tier 8 tanks. Tier 10 Lights against Tier 8 tanks look much more dangerous than some E100 or IS-7 in my opinion. Yes, those guys have crazy armor comparing to Tier 8 tanks and their penetrations. But everyone has premium ammo, everyone knows where IS-7 is once it's spotted. A Tier 10 heavy can simply be rushed, anything can happen. I'm not saying that IS-7 or E100 are not dangerous against Tier 8 tanks, of course they are. But in my opinion, the flexibility and damaging capabilities of top tier lights gives them more advantage in most situations. Tier 10 light can appear from nowhere, hit you twice and disappear while laughing its ammo off. The mobility of top lights is so good that they can be anywhere at any moment. When you play LT10, you surprise your enemies every time you show up in a different place. Also, Tier 10 light will spot Tier 8 tank, even light tank, well in advance. Any LT10. And if in LT10 you meet some lower tier heavy or medium, then there is a good chance that the enemy won't even see you after you fire. Unless it's some American medium tank with good base view range and optics. But before you are spotted, you have so much freedom. You see the enemy, but the enemy is not even close to seeing you. And that's about all Tier 10 lights, even Sheridan and Panzerwagen with their poor camo, because they will see enemies earlier than other lights because of better view range. You spot an enemy and you have a lot of time to choose best position to shoot the enemy. Maybe you will find a bush to cover yourself with, so that you won't be detected even after shooting. Same story happens with Tier 9 tanks as well, although there are many more tanks with 390 or 400 meters base view range among Tier 9 tanks. This trick still works pretty well there. Tier 8 tanks are completely helpless against Tier 10 light. Tier 9 aren't usually a problem as well. You're still the quickest, the most invisible, and don't forget that firepower of Tier 10 lights is somewhere around the firepower of Tier 9 mediums. At least from my subjective point of view, I can say that. Imagine a mix of T54 and AMX ELC. That's exactly what T100 LT is. It has firepower of T54, plus minus a bit, but with much better penetration, and you have a ton of other bonuses as a light tank to use that gun a lot better than T54. Tier 10 light in a battle with lower tier tanks is an extremely dangerous force, which is able to deal a lot of damage, like 3k, 4k, 5k, even 6k is possible. Another aspect that helps Tier 10 lights to be in top by damage even in the battle full of Tier 10 tanks is that you're slightly smaller comparing to MT10. Raw firepower is compensated by several other aspects that help you to keep up by dealt and assist damage with your heavies and mediums. For example, great view range, because you boost it, and not every Tier 10 in the game boosts view range. For example, most tank destroyers don't have optics, and on the move, they are easy and safe to shoot targets. Not every Tier 10 heavy carries optics. For mediums and enemy lights and anyone with optics, you have camo, so even if your view range is comparable to the view range of other tanks, you have still camo, so you see the enemy, but the enemy doesn't see you. And also, you have incredible mobility, because Tier 10 light tanks have really outstanding mobility. They have over 30 horses per ton, some even have around 45 horses per ton. If you feel like you are losing one flank, you can retreat and take defensive position, or you can go around the whole map to the other flank and help your team win the other flank then you're quick enough to return to your base and defend it, and then you defend your base and you can attack again. And all of this you do while firing all the time, because you run from one enemies to other enemies, then you return to the previous enemies, then you attack some new enemies, and so on. So you fire and fire and fire and fire. And even for the quickest mediums, such maneuvers are barely possible. Tier 10 lights react and adapt a lot quicker to anything that happens on the battlefield, and they always take best positions to deal damage. Even though your raw firepower in LT10 is smaller than of Tier 10 medium, you can always be in a better position, better location to deal damage than you would be in Tier 10 medium tank. You are always near someone's side or rear, you are always ready to flank someone, to attack someone, to move to some better position from where you can shoot safely, and so on. Of course, it's not easy to be consistently effective. You need to have good decision making, you must know when to attack, when to retreat, where to relocate this time. You need a lot of experience, you should be able to predict the behavior of the enemy tanks, and you should also know how quickly enemies can appear here or there, or where unspotted enemies are likely to be. A lot of things to keep in mind, and of course sometimes you will make mistakes, because you can't really succeed in all of this all the time, right? You need that knowledge in all tanks really, apart from lights you need it especially in mediums, but as you move much more in Tier 10 mediums, rather than in Tier 10 lights rather than mediums, you analyze the situation much more often. It's a lot of brain work, and it's also one of the reasons why I enjoy Tier 10 lights. They are challenging, but generously rewarding in terms of damage if you succeed. I think this is what makes Tier 10 light tanks such good damage dealers. This is what makes them so effective in random battles in good hands. So leave your opinion about this in comments. Maybe you have some other ideas why Tier 10 lights can be good damage dealers, or maybe you think they are not such good damage dealers. Then I'm ready to read your arguments. So if you enjoyed this video, then you know what to do, you know, you're all smart. Just thank you for watching, guys. See you around, and goodbye.